Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Cam K, Graydon Bun back with you. This week we have a champion, a woman champion, which is something that we can't say that we have a lot of in racing. But Amanda Balson is on the show. You might know her name. She competes in the NASCAR Hot Rod Series, and she's competed in the Ontario racing scene for quite a while. So we're so excited to have her on the show. But first, we're going to talk to you about our friends at GeForce TV.
Today's episode of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast with Cam K and Graydon Bun has been presented by our friends at GeForce TV. TV can you catch the entire APC series live each week that they race. Not only do you get APC action, but you can catch races held at dirt tracks across Ontario, including Merrittville, Humberstone, and Oswego. Catch up weekly on racing stories with our friends Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey weekly on their show Race Rivals Race Chat.
Best part about GeForce TV, absolutely free. Check it out on geforcetv.net. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Cam K, Graydon Bun. We are here with a champion, a driver who, let's just say, I think she knows how to kick butt in Ontario racing. She's done it for a couple years, right? Amanda Balson is here on the show. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we are to have you as well because this is cool because you're the first hot rod driver that we've actually had on the podcast. So let's first talk about it because it's a series that it was brand new to me a couple of years ago, and thanks to GeForce TV, our partners for this episode, we've been lucky enough to catch many a race. So what is the NASCAR Hot Rod Series?
So essentially, when limited late models started to sort of filter out. I mean, I know they're still around, but filter out a little bit. The chassis and the limited late models started evolving, and there were so many chassis left over that Dave Gameforth and a few other guys decided that we needed a use for these cars. These cars were still good cars, good chassis. There were tons of them. They were really cheap, and Hot Rod Series was born. I'm not sure who came up with the idea with the bodies. I think it was Dave Gameforth. Bodies being 1974 and older, having to be made of steel and having to resemble the car, the body, that period of time as closely as you could get. I believe that somewhere in the rules it does say you have to have the original front and rear bumper from the car that you're running. They have 602 motors in them. They're basically a limited late model underneath with a steel body and a 10-inch flip. So it's basically a super street stock on steroids a little bit.
It's one of those series that you go out and my dad's he likes his classics and be able to see some of those out there. Let's talk about what car is it that you drive?
So we went with the 1974 Camaro. I think, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but everybody knows what we sort of came out with, I guess, a year. What we tried to pass off as a 74 Camaro, which it was. It just had a little bit of an edge to it. We kind of went with 1970s Junior Hanley super late model feel, which the series went a little too far with the front end of it. Everything ended up working out fine. We changed a few things, and I guess it looks more like a 74 showroom floor now than it did before.
It's it sticks out on the track very well. And my wife got the picture of it at Delaware with the sunset in the background there. It was it's such a striking car and it sticks out. And the beauty of that series is the kind of the artistic creativity that you get to have with the cars. I mean, as you said, with the body styles, and you get the great competition of the V8s and really get to have an artistic impression and leave your mark.
Yeah, I think like when as a fan, when you're looking at the field of hot rods, like everything is just a little bit different, right? Everything is its own way, and that definitely makes it interesting. I mean, it's template bodies, and there's definitely a place for that in racing, like in pro late model racing and late model racing. Template bodies are something that definitely need to be had for various reasons or obvious reasons. It's pretty cool with the Hot Rod series and how you can recognize the car. You look at the late models, whatever it says on the front, Ford, Chevy, whatever, they all look exactly the same. So
yeah.
A little bit.
So Amanda, I've got to ask, because yes, the Cup Series did it first. Pinty's was going to do it before that. And then you guys decided that you guys were going to do something a little crazy last year. And you guys decided to take the Hot Rod Series on dirt. Yeah. I got to ask, how was it?
So first off, I want to say that I was very excited to go to Brighton Speedway. Our friends that own the track, Angie and Mark Rinaldi, they're huge supporters of our program. So I was super pumped to get there. Definitely try out the dirt. I never have before. Actually, I tested there a few weeks before we went there on a regular night, and it actually went really, really well. Now, unfortunately, the night that we went there, I think we staying with the slick tire and not looking for the dirt tires. I had a heck of a time. I was all over the place.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think the only one ran the slick and didn't opt for the dirt tire. I think that was probably a critical mistake. Even finishing, I took some damage to the body. Not what I expected it to be, but I think when we go there this year, we'll definitely be a little bit better prepared. Got my feet wet, been on the track a couple times, so I'm going to look at dirt tire, have a little bit better of a time this year than last August.
Yeah.
So Amanda, my boys unfortunately couldn't be here, but they're living it up down in Florida right now with their mom and their nana. But they did have some questions that they had prepared for you. So I want to ask on behalf of my eldest Owen. He wanted to know what it was like being Canada's first late model female champion and what that season was like for you.
That was a very memorable season for me. It was 2000 Peterborough Speedway. Super special to me because at the time it was, for the most part, it was just myself and Kelly and my father. And Kelly did a lot of the setups on that car. I mean, we did have some help, but on a week-to-week basis, like, we did the work on the car. Like, Kelly was my spotter. It was just a very, I guess, like a very intimate win for us. Like, where we didn't have a lot of help from the outside, and we ran to get some good competition that year. And as far as being, like the first woman to win a late model championship, I mean, I guess it's just a thing that we say, but yeah. It just felt incredible to be a champion, put it that way.
Yeah, agreed.
It's something that, I really do want to touch on, because you said it's just a thing that we say, and, but it is glaringly obvious that we don't have a field full of female drivers in motorsports. It is something that I think we would all agree is still lacking, minorities in racing and women in racing. But I've got to hear your opinion on what Busch Light's new campaign is with sponsoring women in the United States, and not just drivers within ARCA and the Xfinity series, but drivers in the modifieds, drivers in trucks, something like a Jennifer Jo Cobb, just to have a little bit of sponsorship on their car and help and get their name out there even.
I mean, I think any support that women get from any company is incredible. And I think Anheuser-Busch stepping up and putting up like $10 million, that's huge, huge. If I want to be completely honest, am I happy about the way they gave it out? Not really. I mean, it's a lot of money, and it just seems to me like the people they gave it to they don't need it. They already got their shot. I think that have a chance for a win, or have a chance to, make a splash. What about the girls that, I don't want to say like myself, like I'm in my mid 40s. I mean, whatever, right? I have to go to work. I take off and race for 8 months somewhere. I wish I can't. But what about the girls that are winning races that kind of don't have enough money to like get to that next level? And I'm not talking about people running a mini stock that are, like I'm talking about, there's a lot of girls out there running late models, pro late models. They're doing well. But they don't have that money to get up to that next level, because let's face it, really anybody does. And if Anheuser-Busch wants to throw this money out there, it just seems to me like, look, Jennifer Jo Cobb is a personal friend of mine, and she's a lovely girl. She's a good race car driver. It's just, her equipment is lacking. She's been around for 25 years. I don't think $1 million is going to do it. And it didn't, she didn't qualify for Kona. Natalie Decker comes from a lot of money, comes from a very wealthy family, had the money to pay the way right up there, hasn't produced the results just yet. So I just think, I don't want to like rag on them, because that's an awful look for any woman that's racing to do that. But I just, where they allocated some of the money, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like even the Melissa Fifield in the modified, a career best finish of like 16th or 17th in 4 or 5 seasons of modified racing is just, I don't think that's going to cut it. I don't think that's going to take $1 million to go run up front the wheel and modified tour with it. That's all. I just would have liked it to see it go to people that just need that extra push to get there. Like not maybe the ones that are already there with family money, right? Like you're just getting more money to people. That's really all.
That's completely valid. I mean, like if they did a little bit more homework, that like to what you're speaking about, and dug a little deeper and just into these series and see the people that just are on that cutting edge of the raw talent only gets you so far, and they just need that extra little push. I think that money would be a little better allocated that way. And you spoke to it perfectly.
Yeah, it's so hard to differentiate sometimes too, because the sport that, racing as a sport, like you need money to do well. Like you can't just be good because you be good and not have any money. And if you're in garbage equipment, no one will ever see how good you are. You sort of need all of it. But I just feel like with some of the Anheuser-Busch people, the money was already there. So what was, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like you just said it right there. The Anheuser-Busch people, do they have a racing consultant panel that said, hey, this person in this series needs it? It just feels like that it was a marketing rep or somebody that just said, let's just, everybody we know, the Haley Deegans and the insert name here of the world. It just seems like if they had some racers in there saying, hey, we know this person in this series, and the Amanda Balson, the Quick series. I mean, it's,
and I mean, I would have loved to see some of the money go to Haley Deegan, because right now, like that's a viable option. I think just the only reason part of that was because of legal drinking age dates, I think 20, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And, is that a legitimate option? To be the next Danica or be the next, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, she is. Like, I mean, she had good runs in ARCA. It's been a couple of years in trucks now. something happen this year, but at least there's results there behind that. What I enjoy about it.
So I guess further to this question, Amanda, and this is why I like having this conversation with someone who's been in that. You've been in that situation. You've had to, compete, and you've had your share of years to get rides and to get sponsors, and it doesn't seem like it's an easy thing, especially in Canada. The motorsports scene in Canada, it seems, at least through 2022, like it might be getting a bit of a resurgence. It seems like there's a lot more buzz, and maybe that's COVID related. I would assume that people are just ready to get going and are sick of being at home. But what is the biggest battle in finding sponsorship? Is it cost? Is it return of investment? Like, what is it that you find is the biggest hurdle?
I think the hardest thing for any race car driver is to go to a company and convince them that putting their name on the side of their car or your car is worth it for them, like providing value. When you really step back and think about it, what kind of value are we providing, like a big major company? It's hard, smaller companies that maybe aren't so known or just getting going. Yeah, okay, we have potential to reach a bunch of different markets and things like that in different areas, over like a fairly quick period of time for a relatively low cost. But as far as like Pinty's or someone like myself trying to get involved in Pinty's and trying to find, literally like $250,000, like where's the value in that? It's just, it's like, I don't want to knock their series. I want to knock racing at all. Where is that value? It's the same, 20,000 people. It's hard to have value. It's very hard.
It's a daunting task in the climate that we are realistically living in Canada. I mean, it's a tall hill to climb for anybody.
Yeah. I think when you really, get down to it, and these big companies that are involved in Pinty's and such like that, there's always things going on behind the scenes that, why Lowe's is involved or why whoever's involved, like there's always like deals being made behind the scenes that maybe they're getting product from here and selling it in this store. For instance, like a company like Revlon or something gives Shoppers Drug Mart a bunch of free product, and now Shoppers Drug Mart's on a car, and it's all, it's all things that work like that. It's all who and you almost have to have a business degree to kind of make deals like that in today's world, right? And that's tough. That's really tough.
It's funny because we've kind of talked about the different avenues of racing, and you've been in the hot rod series, but you've done late models, but you've also been in the OSS series, and obviously that's a series that's close to my heart, being involved in it. And one thing that you can say is that you are a feature winner in the Ontario Sportsman Series. And let's go back a little bit and talk about kind of that experience, because you had driven a beautiful, if I don't mind me saying, it was a beautiful 16 car. I love just I don't know, something about those 2000 early 2000s stock cars were just, they're so good looking. And I don't know, not that I don't like the Pinty's cars now, but there's just a difference between the Pontiacs back then.
They hit hard for the age group, man. Yeah,
those Pontiacs, I mean, they're my favorite looking race car. I don't know what it is about them, but you drove one to Victory Lane.
Toronto, is that what it is? I'm sorry. No, you know what? They were very cool. Very, the flange fit bodies on those cars, and the fiberglass is depending on who you ask. It looks beautiful. When you had to fix it, ooh, ouch! Like, not a lot of fun. I know my father-in-law had a few choice words for those bodies.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun in that series. I love the format of that series. The qualifying, the longer races. Of course, I think my second start in the series that we got the win at Delaware. It's still like just such an exciting moment for me and our team. And man, we were a huge underdog going into that race. Like nobody thought anything. Put it that way. Nobody thought we were going to be anywhere close that day. We knew we definitely knew we had a good car, but that win definitely came. It was a little minorly shocking to me. Like I remember as that race was going on and picking off cars one at a time. And Kelly kept saying to me like, okay, like, this is good. We're in third. You know what? Keep going. Go get him. And okay, we're going to finish second. You know what? You're catching the leader. Just keep going. And I kept thinking, I'm catching them. This is going to happen. And I have some in-car from that. I know some of it's on the internet, but I cut off when I crossed the line because those were what we call private moments in the car. Not for everyone to see, but I was definitely overwhelmed with joy, really excited, and that was such a great night.
Oh, it's so cool. I got my youngest Riley. I got to read what he wrote because it's just, he's a paint scheme guy. He's such a artist and creative guy. So yeah, he says, first of all, I'm a paint scheme guy and I love the look of your race car. And so does our mom. She got a great picture of it at Delaware. I'm also a fan of the number 16. I've rooted for Greg Biffle ever since I can remember. What does the number 16 mean to you?
So the number 16 for me, I can tell you, so I grew up watching my dad race cars, and he was number 16. Now that number was chosen because that was our original house number where I grew up, or in my childhood home. And I have to pick a number, and we'll just pick the number off the house. Well, I wore that number on, like, I've played a ton of sports, mostly football and hockey. So I wore number 16 all my life on every jersey and every sport I ever played. So just pretty natural for me to continue on the 16 with racing. But yeah, it was my dad's choice of number, sort of out of nowhere. But that's where it came from.
Amanda, the 2022 season is coming really quickly. I'm curious if you're able to talk about your plans for this year.
Yeah, definitely. Like always, I try and run a full season. That's always my intention. My job, I work shift work, so I do work a lot of weekends, and I have coworkers, and they would love to have every weekend off in the summer as well. So we have to share sometimes, but I try and make it work the best I can. I take holidays around all the big races. So my plan is to make it work the best I can. 2022 Oscar Hot Rod Series. Really, really looking forward to it. There's some really cool things on the schedule that I can't wait to give a go to. And so that's the plan anyway.
Well, you've got at least one hurdle that's gone from that series. Tyler Hahn saying that he's going up to Superstock. So you feel a little bit lucky that Hahn is moving on.
Oh no, no. Difference to me. No. The more competition that's in the series, the better, right? So I mean, it's not a happy thing that a good competitor has left the series. It's it is what it is. He wants to move on to different things, good for him. But yeah, it's just more like you've lost another strong car, so that's not always a good thing. But then again, like I've heard, there's a few more new guys coming along, and I think the competition level is going to be top notch this year. I think last year is probably the strongest level of competition I've seen in hot rod since the inception of the series, and I think we're just going up from here. I really do.
one of those things that we've seen. We saw the entry list last year, and it was huge. And if you're saying that there's even more guys potentially coming in, wow, guys, make sure you do yourselves a favor and catch the 16 hot rod in the Oscar Hot Rod Series this year. Amanda Balson. We had some technical problems, quite a lot of them. That's the time of technology, is that it never seems
to squeeze in your partners and who gets you there too.
Yes, let's do that.
Sorry, what was the last?
You have your fire suit and everything in your shot. Who gets you to the track, Amanda?
Oh, definitely. Sorry, I couldn't catch what you said there at the end. Mike Schmidt at London Recreational Racing, one of my hugest, longest standing supporters. Rod and Barb Cochran from Cochran Automotive. Frank and Annika from Quick Wick Fire Starter. They're amazing people. Looking forward to those that Frank makes in the summer, like top notch. For Racing Design, see what she can do. True North Tradecraft. Brighton Speedway. Don't think I've left anybody out, but we got to talk about. I got a new one for this year, and I know Cam wants to talk about this. So what do we say? Cam does these fictional cars, and he did up the fictional Fix It Females car, and he put my name on it, put a 16 on it. Lo and behold, Fix It Females sees the fictional car. They love the idea. Cam facilitates a little meeting between CEO Anastasia and myself. We actually just spoke on the phone a few days ago, and I'm very pleased to say that Fix It Females is going to be on my hot rod for 2022. They're a renovation, kitchen, bathroom, pretty much any type of renovation company that employs mostly females to do the work, the design, the shopping, everything. They have a female CEO. I can't wait to meet this incredible group of ladies. They're already expressing interest about coming out to the races and experiencing that. Thank you, Cam. So, those fictional cars, all it takes is just somebody to see it and get excited by something. And, this was born out of that. So I really, really appreciate that.
I wanted to say, I didn't know if you could actually say anything. So that was just me doing a little bit of fishing there. But we really wanted to give a shout out to all your partners that to get you to the track. But I'm so happy for both of you in this. I mean, I heard it from Cam's end, and now hearing it from your, for me to both of you guys, I mean, that's so cool to see this happen on all those levels. So congrats to my wingman and to our guest tonight.
Yeah, Cam, I got to take you out for dinner, man. What can I tell you? I owe you one.
It's we talked about it earlier. It's something that I want to see. I want to see women move up. I want to see companies come into racing, and sometimes that's, like you said, all you need is to try. I mean, you don't know unless you ask, right? And and it just so happened that this company works perfectly with see what she can do, which you're a proud ambassador for, and the work that they do in the community, I think is going to work perfect with racing. And the biggest thing about this company and women racers is that you guys have to compete in a male dominated field, and you kind of have the decks stacked against you. And why not partner up? Because you guys can I think this is, I think it's a fantastic fit, and hopefully that they they agree, and maybe there'll be more Fix It female drivers in the future, and we can get something to take off. But Amanda, it's because you were a racer that happened, right? It's because it's funny. I knew Amanda Balson from Peterborough Speedway. I didn't know Amanda Connolly that was winning in OSS. So I thought you were two completely
one and the same.
Some people think that I'm two different people sometimes. It's sort of funny. It's like I got
Well, Amanda, obviously we're big fans of you and all of the 16 team and definitely we hope to be out and get to see you on the track this year. We'll be out in full force this season and definitely get you stickers and scuffs decal to go with right next to the Fix It Females decal on the 16 hot rod. But how can people follow you on social media if you want them to?
Oh yeah. I'm a little more, I try very hard with the Instagram. I'm at 16 Racer on Instagram, or better. Twitter, I'm not very active on there. So at 16 Racer on Instagram or Amanda Balson on Facebook. I'm pretty active on Facebook. It's probably my preferred method because I'm older. I'm not old. Forget, I have TikTok, but I didn't know.
I get you. I understand totally. I'm 40 as well. I don't get it.
Just too many things, and it's so hard. And I'm paranoid of making some kind of mistake. Like, I was even nervous about today. I'll be completely honest. Like, oh, see that? I'm really nervous.
If I had a nickel for every time I'd done that.
I was just gonna say I'm so nervous. Camera forward, and you seeing that I'm literally wearing Christmas jammy pants, but it fell backwards, so all you got to see was the roof of my kitchen. You have jammy pants on, don't you?
I was just gonna say, if it makes you feel better, I'm wearing Budweiser track pants. There you go.
Literally have flat.
Nice. There we go.
I have you both beat. I'm in bike shorts right now. So there you go.
There we go. It's share your lower wear night tonight on Stickers and Scuffs.
That's all of a sudden our podcast is going to get an expletive rating on it. So let's
put the kids to bed, folks.
Amanda, thank you so much for joining us. We got to end this before things get really bad.
Too late. This is terrible.
This is a reason.
Oh,
There's a reason why
awesome.
you can't call us journalists. We're fans. That's what we do.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna hold it because this is just.
Oh God, this is
Amanda,
like the best ever.
Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we all the best this season. Really.
Thank you so much. You guys are so much fun. Do it again. Have a better.
Absolutely.
This. All right. You guys have a good one.
Bye.
You too.